I'm Mitchell.
This is our little Fifi.
Well, we finally finished our van conversion. It's a 2020 Mercedes Sprinter van, 144 wheelbase with four-wheel drive. In this video, we're going to give you a tour of how we completed it. Okay, well, come on in and we'll show you around. I'd like to start with some of the things that we added. We added the top area here, and that is for storage. A lot of storage up here. It worked really good. If you don't have this up here, you've got a little more headroom, but the storage area is really nice. So it's something you might want to think about if you're building your van. Also, what you see a lot of people do is adding the curtain. So we bought a quilt. We bought two quilts, one for the front and one for the back door. And Bonnie went ahead and did all the sewing, did a really nice job. And she sewed these little magnets inside, so they will connect onto the little washers that we put in here. So let's see how that goes. We have a regular little connection here with our little connection rope. Okay, and here we got the little magnet sewed in right on there. Right on there. Look at that. The bottom one just did itself. Now let me show you our pride and joy. We did a lot of work on this table. If you check one of our other videos, you'll see kind of more detail how we did this. It is absolutely beautiful. It is an epoxy table. And we use some really, really nice wood here for both sides. And then we have the river going through. It's kind of more like an inlet for Alaska. And we have our little Alaska creatures in here. Really, really pretty. Nice thing about this is you can use this for your eating area, or you can go ahead and swing it over. And when we spin around our passenger seat here, because it's got on a swivel, you can use that for a play table or a computer work table. Really good, decent table. Okay, next we move into our sofa area. This area in cushion was made by Bonnie. Really nice design, works well with the van. Now we built the cabinets in the van here, but the doors we purchased online. It's really important. I mean, I could have made these, but they wouldn't have been as perfect. And they're really not that expensive. So get online, look around, purchase your doors. We put little locks on it so they don't pop open when you drive. And these sliding racks we purchased at Lowe's. They work really, really nice, and they look professionally made. Upper cabinets we made as well. Got a nice little shelf in there. That's a nice closure, huh? That one's got the little holder there. Keeps it up for the microwave. The microwave runs off of the inverter. Now we added this box here so we can put Fifi on top of it with her little bed. So also the top opens up. We can put like the drone or camera stuff in there. Easy access. Also behind the seat had a little space here. We went ahead and added this little cabinet here so that we can keep the dog's food and water dish in there, and she can access that without it sliding around. Moving into the kitchen area, we started with a butcher block. We did the epoxy pour on top. Then we added the induction stovetop here. The reason we went with induction is because we've got 4 100-watt solar panels up top. But we also have 3 AGM batteries in the back. Plus we've got the one stock one under the seat, which they're connected together, and we'll go over that later on when we get to the back. Stainless steel sink and the faucet. And we went with a little bit higher end paper towel holder. The LED lights with the variable switch. And no van is complete without your fruit basket. That is required in van life. If you read it under the contract, you'll see that that's required. The isotherm refrigerator with the freezer in the top. Now the reason we went with the bigger one is because we want to travel a lot for long durations. So we wanted plenty of space. It's hooked up to our battery bank in the back, and we'll get to the batteries later on. We'll show you that. But very, very efficient. Moving up top here, we went with our Max fan, with our Max fan mount. These are really nice. You can set these for different variable speeds. We use them when we're cooking. When you're sleeping, you can have it on low and have your back window open and just get a nice little airflow through when it's really hot. You can have these on when it's raining outside too, because it's got a cover up top. We have one big cabinet here, and we use 2 mounts from Lowe's. A lot of space in here. You can see we got a lot of our dried goods, cereals, snacks. Got a lot of room in here for kitchen stuff. Also on the nice slider. And then we also have a pull down for our bathroom stuff for like toilet paper, garbage bags, paper towels, and of course all the sink mechanism underneath here. Also down underneath here, underneath the board here, this is where we mount our heater back underneath there. If you look at, we'll show you how we mounted that as well. This is a very, very good heater. It's an S-bar heater, and any place you think you might need a heater, these are the best ones to go with. Now, since this is a diesel vehicle, this runs on diesel, so it's hooked to the diesel tank, or the fuel tank, and we've got our electrical switch back up here. We'll show you later. Okay, the ceiling we went ahead and insulated with a solid board insulation, and then on the strip area here where your metal framing is, we went ahead and used the screw rivets, drilled those in, and that way we could attach our stringer board, or our board, to be able to attach this board. First, after that, we went ahead and ran a 1/4-inch plywood in here, glued and stapled that one up there, and then we used the thin tongue and groove wood, which we got at Home Depot. It's pretty thin, and we individually glued and stapled these up as well, and then painted about 4 coats of paint on this. It makes it look really nice and bright in here. Finishes everything off really nice and good with the caulking, of course. The LED lights, we went ahead and ran those before we put up the final wood here, and our switch is down here. Variable switch. Okay, moving into the restroom and shower area. I know a lot of people on the van builds, they don't have a restroom, or they just have a bucket, and they definitely don't have a shower, maybe just the outdoor shower using the faucet or out of the back. But we laid this out. We used the 24 by 30 inch pan for the shower, and it worked out really well. We used 2x4 walls, but we turned the 2x4s this way so it didn't take up much room. And then your plywood, which made it a little bit stronger, and then also you could mount your electrical on the front and back like we did. I'd like to explain how we did the shower here. We framed it up, and for the plumbing, this pipe here for the drain pipe actually comes from the other side over here for the sink. So there's no P-trap there. It just goes straight around into the back underneath there, and then it comes about here on the side, then drops down, and then we go into the main part of the drain here, and it goes into the HEPVO filter. The HEPVO is HEPVO, and what that does is it's actually better than a P-trap because it doesn't take up as much space up and down. So the water goes in and it drops down and it goes out, and it also keeps water from coming back in from like the gray water tank. So and also you don't get any smells. Now here we step down the pipe, use a smaller one so it could go into the gray water tank underneath. This part here goes into the pan drain, and you have to be really precise and test your measurements and make sure you do everything. You can see on the walls on the side, the 2x4s, we ran sideways so it didn't take up as much room. And you can see the electrical here on the left up to our electrical panel there above the bed. Also, this hole on this underneath here I cut in so that I can access the HEPVO filter and replace it if I ever need to. Well, go ahead and take a look here. This is the tank. Pretty good sized tank. We ordered that online. And so we've got a drain here. We got a drain here. We'll hook up, we have a electric ball valve that will hook up there. And then this is a secondary drain here. We'll have a little screw valve, so if this one fails, we can utilize this. Then up in here, we're gonna be going up in, and that's gonna be for our air vent loop. Our air vent loop up in here. We'll go to this one, and then this one is the one that it comes down and drains in. So pretty good gray water tank. With this, we went ahead and used the FRP board and glued that on. Obviously your stainless steel shower, and with the toilet we use the paper holder that can't get wet. Also your soap dispenser. This is one of the removable or put up really quick racks for your drying your clothes as well. Hey, I'm busy in here. You can use it for privacy as well for your toilet. The nice thing about these toilets, I'm really impressed by these. It's the Thetford. It's got the cartridge underneath where you just pop this thing off. You can take and dump it. You put your water in here, and all you do is you just pump it up once and down, and the water goes in there and cleans out. Easy to clean out, and when you take a shower, you just move it off to the side. Okay, now for the bed. Enjoying the winter in Alaska. Pretty cool. Now we chose to take our bed across this way. It is a 144 wheelbase, so if you put it this way, it would just take up too much room here. Like I said before, I'm 5'8". My wife is about the same size. And what we did is, instead of putting the insulation in and just coming straight down, the Sprinter van has this little open area on both sides. So we just did a little thin insulation board, spray foam that, and then we took our fabric and put it on a 1/4 inch lawn board and put that up on both sides so it goes out, so we have plenty of room to sleep. Okay, the cabinet above the bed here, this one's for Bonnie, this one's for me. Got 2 different levels here. Plenty of storage space for our everyday clothes. Of course, no van is complete without a television. You can hook your iPhones into this one. This one's got a swivel. Push it up, comes down. You watch it up front, or when you're on TV, you still got plenty of room to sleep here and relax. Push it up again, it locks in. Pretty sweet. Pretty small one too. We also added the awning window here. The awning window I like a lot because you can just open it up a little bit, and you can still have it open if it's snowing or if it's raining. Always get your airflow in here. But in Alaska, it gets cold. So you want to have some type of insulation in the rear. We have the window covers, but having the quilt that Bonnie made with the magnets, just like on the front, and your connection here, this gives you your added warmth. And it keeps the cold air from coming in underneath and up top here. And you got plenty of privacy as well. Yeah, we're going to show you about our Quest Overland window covers. We bought these from that company out of Oregon. They work really, really nice. Fold up nice for storage, and they keep the cold out and the heat in, or the cool in and the heat out in the summertime. But we use them mostly for the wintertime here in Alaska. You got magnets on them. Very, very strong magnets. We're back here in the garage area where all the brain works are. We're going to go ahead and start here. We went ahead and removed the bed for you to see a little bit easier and to see how we did the framework on the bed. The framework on the bed, we used a 1.5 inch steel L bracket on both sides, and then the 1 inch cross beams. Those are really, really strong. We got 4 of those. We have our plywood on top and then the mattress on top of that. These are screwed in with the rivets like we did the roof with, and these are all screwed in and bolted in, so it's nice and tight. All right, here's our plumbing pipe coming out of the sink area with our little bit of a slope, and then it runs to the main drain. This is our 5-gallon water tank. It's a Bosch, and we plug that in to this outlet here, and then up top here, that's where we turn it on. So when we turn that on, it gives us power to the hot water heater. The red obviously is hot, and I like using the SharkBite connections. They're really, really easy, and you can disconnect them and drain it. That's what we did. So we don't have this filled up with the antifreeze for the winter. I just don't like the taste of it later on. So we can just disconnect it and then dump it and clean the water system out that way. And that goes back to the shower area. Okay, you can see our 3 AGM batteries, Duracell 3100s. Those are all connected in parallel. And then we're using a C-Tech. It's a D250 SE. Now this tells us that we've got our solar coming in, and it tells us what's going out as well. We have a shunt down here. Now you have to look up what the shunt is if you don't understand that. Do some research on that. That basically runs up to the control box up front and tells us what's going on with the battery, so we can monitor it well that way. Over here on this right hand side, we have our circuit breakers. So when you're coming into from the solar panels up top, this comes in. This is your negative, and this is going out to the batteries, and then from the battery we have it going into our 4,000 watt inverter. We have our water pump down here, the water filter, so the water comes into the tank, into the blue line down here, and then it runs in the loop and then goes into the water pump and then out to our supply, and the hot comes up, cold goes in, and then hot comes out. And then this is our drain, pressure drain for the hot water heater, which goes out into the system. Okay, for our 12 volt system, this 30 amp, this is where the electrical comes in from the battery bank. 30 amp, and then it splits off to two 20s, and each 20 goes to its own separate circuit breaker. Now I have these wires still drawn up when I first put them on here, but we got the little stickers we'll write on here, and then we'll put on for each one. We have two over-the-wheel well water tanks. These really look like they take up a lot of room, but they don't, because you got the wheel well in there. So it just kind of squares off that area and makes it look nicer, and it's a great place to put your water tanks. This is 20 gallons and 20 gallons on the other side, so that's quite a bit of water you don't have to worry about. And then when you got a shower, it's nice to have that extra water. You can see where I've got shut-offs in here. So if something ever starts leaking, I can shut it off to the main system. So this is our filler spout here. You can mount that on a little board later on. The water comes in and it fills this tank and then goes over to the other tank here, and so they both fill up. Now the one on the left fills up a little quicker, so you have to kind of give it time to equalize. And when they do, then you'll be set. Here's our shut off for our drain. Drain goes down. And this is also used as a vent. So this is open all the way down. So this vent comes up and then down and out. So if you ever get a flow, it will come out of there. And then we had that as a shut off for our drain. We have this for both sides. For our storage area, we wanted to be able to have good access, so we put this on a slider. Now we got these on the internet, and there's two of them side by side, and I just screwed them in here so that they're all run together. The reason we chose to build this van is because of the ease of travel and the stealth it provides. It's much cheaper to travel and live this way. Plus, you can park almost anywhere. Well, we are ready to hit the road. If you would like to join us in our travels, subscribe and ring the bell. We'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Alaska Adventures and Beyond.